Welcome to Production Expert, my name's Dan Cooper. In this three-part series, we're going back to basics on using reverb in a mix. For those new to mixing, these videos will help you establish a reverb workflow similar to what the pros use. And for those who consider themselves a dab hand at mixing, well, it doesn't hurt to remind yourself of the basics from time to time now, does it? In this first episode, we're taking a look at setting up reverb in a mix. There's two main ways of doing it, either using it inserted in a plugin chain or as an effects return, and there's two ways of applying it for each. One using wet-dry parallel controls in an insert, or using buses to set levels. So in this mix, I've only got two instruments, an acoustic guitar and a violin. Let's take a quick listen. And it sounds very plain and very boring. It needs some interest, it needs some space, it needs some depth. And this is what reverb is good for. But how do we get it going in a mix? First, let me show you how to insert a reverb into a mix. For these videos, I'm going to be using Liquid Sonic's 7th Heaven plugin. I've been using this for several years. I absolutely love it. So simple to use, hence why we're going to use it in this video. And what I've done there is inserted this on the acoustic guitar bus. So I've got three acoustic guitar tracks here, two microphones, one DI, feeding them out of the output here to the input of this bus. So I've got one track for that acoustic guitar, and I've simply inserted this reverb plugin there. Let's take a quick listen. And we've got reverb straight away. Now, another way to get reverb going in the mix, and this is my preferred way of doing it, and many others will agree, is to set up an effects return. It's a little bit more involved, but let me show you how to do it in Pro Tools. It's very similar in other DAWs as well. In fact, some other DAWs do this a lot quicker. First of all, we load a stereo auxiliary track, or as I like to call them, blank other tracks. And you load your reverb there, inserted. And on the track that you want to have the reverb, you go over to the send on the track, load up an available bus, gone for 17 and 18 here. It's good housekeeping to name your buses. Then over on that auxiliary that we've inserted the reverb on, go down to the input. Here it says no input. And I'm going to find that bus I've just named, verb, and we have that all set up. Now the bus that we have over here on the send, click on that, we can adjust the level of this. And if you're not too sure what a bus is, really simple way to remember, and this is how I learned it all those years ago, is to send a portion of the signal, being the acoustic guitar in this case, down the bus, think water going through a pipe, over to your auxiliary. And this is going to be just reverb. So let's have a little listen. No reverb. As I increase this bus, get a bit more reverb. A lot of reverb. And we can set the level to taste. All very simple. And this is what we call an effects return. Now if we go back a step to the inserted reverb on the acoustic guitar bus, this is just where we loaded it straight into the first insert on the plugin chain. If we wanted to set the level here, we can do it within the plugin. We've got this mix control here. 100% all the way to the right here, fully affected. Dial it back. And a bit less, or none at all. So there you go, there's two different ways of getting reverb running in a mix. Now many years ago when computers weren't that fast, it was smart to use one or two reverb plugins in a session because they can be quite thirsty on the old CPU. And then you'd use buses to send certain amounts to those auxiliaries to get your reverb going. But as computers have got mighty powerful these days, that sort of mindset doesn't really apply anymore. However, it is a lot more convenient, in my opinion, to keep working with auxiliaries and effects returns. But if you were working on a very slimmed down session like this, you could very easily get away with using two inserts, one on the acoustic guitar, one on the violin. like so. We could have different reverb types. So if I went for plates for the violin, and on the acoustic guitar, we could go for a room. Have a quick play around with that violin. There we go. Over to the acoustic guitar. Okay, now you know two different ways of getting reverb working in a mix. You can also apply those to other effects like delay and distortion, for instance. In the next episode, I'm going to share some tips on how to find a tasteful reverb, one that works for the track and the song that you're mixing, and the typical controls that you find in pretty much every reverb plugin out there. Anyway, hope you guys got something from this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.